Hello, my name is Nathan Peterson. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So you know yourself and your sexual orientation, but your mind starts telling you that you belong to another. Today we're going to go over what's called HOCD or homosexual OCD. Before I jump into that, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. I'm posting videos every single week on different mental health issues such as OCD, anxiety, hair pulling, skin picking, and so many others. So HOCD. Other names for this are gay OCD and sexual orientation OCD. This is not homophobia. This is not denial. This is a form of obsessive-compulsive disorder where an individual will obsess about their sexual orientation. These individuals may have many different intrusive thoughts. Some of these intrusive thoughts may look like this: the fear of becoming gay, the fear of being seen as gay, the fear of relationship issues and how that might be related to signs of sexual orientation issues, the fear of just being in denial about being gay, and the fear of just losing your sexual identity. When it comes to HOCD, it's not all about the person fearing or worrying about just becoming gay. Yes, that is a very common question, is what if I am gay? But it's more than that. It's about losing their identity. It's about losing who they are. It's about going against their possible religion. It's about ruining their relationship. There is immense anxiety that comes along with all these intrusive thoughts. These aren't thoughts that just come in the person's brain and they're like, oh, okay, and then they move on. These are thoughts that come in and their brain starts working on them, and they feel anxious and they feel anxious and they realize this thought goes against a lot of what I actually believe, what I think about, and what I value. Just like any other OCD subtype, there are compulsions. Compulsions are the things that the individual does to help themselves feel a little bit better, to sometimes gain certainty or at least make them believe they are gaining certainty. I see a mixture of both, a lot of physical compulsions and a lot of mental compulsions. Here's what some of the physical compulsions look like: avoiding all things that may be associated to homosexuality. This may be books, this may be movies, this may be TV shows, this may be friends. It may be even certain colors. It may be the way you talk. It may even be the way the person writes. It may be associated to dance. It could be associated to someone singing. These are things that a lot of individuals may avoid because it reminds them or may cause a possible intrusive thought in their brain that they don't want to have. Another compulsion may be checking your own groaning to make sure there are no sensations there whatsoever. For instance, if I'm walking out of a gym and I see a few individuals who have the little cut off shirts and they're walking out of the gym and I'm like, well, they've got some pretty good muscles there. And my brain's like, oh no, what did you just do? You better check yourself to make sure that you do not feel any sensations down there. Because if you do, what is it going to mean for you? Some individuals may find themselves compulsively dating the person of the opposite sex to make sure and to check if they like that person or not. Some individuals may find themselves into pornography, watching straight pornography to make sure, absolutely sure, that this is what they want and this is what they believe. Some individuals may find themselves staring at those that they believe they need to be attracted to. Sometimes individuals will stare at those they don't want to stare at to see, to make sure, to check, do I feel anything? Sometimes asking for reassurance, whether it's on a forum, whether it's a parent, whether it's a friend, whether it's actually just themselves reassuring. They may ask certain questions. Do you think that I'm gay? Do you think I'd ever like a man? They're waiting for that person's response on that forum to say, you'd probably know if you're gay. If you're questioning, you probably aren't. But there's a lot of shame and guilt that sometimes comes along with these type of feelings and thoughts. So often reassurance is not one of the bigger compulsions that I see. They don't want to talk about it. Some of the mental compulsions that are usually done are these: quickly neutralizing thoughts, pushing them away the second they come, even repeating certain words such as like, I am not gay, I am not gay, I am not gay. Sometimes individuals will mentally review their sexual history to make sure that they actually enjoyed it, to make sure it was good for them. A lot of times in somebody's brain, they're just looking for evidence. It's almost like they need to defend themselves. The intrusive thought says one thing, so they need to come up with a lot of evidence to go against it, win their case. Sometimes hanging out with the individuals that they feel like they may have intrusive thoughts with, they're going to do so on purpose and then mentally review the whole time. Am I attracted? Am I not? Am I sitting too close? Am I not? Do I feel any sensations? Do I not? And this alone consumes them to the point where they're not actually living life. They're not enjoying the moment. Sometimes praying is one of these compulsions as well. Sometimes individuals will pray multiple times a day. I've seen it up to 100 times a day. Sometimes just quick little prayers, asking for forgiveness to even have that thought, to make sure that they are not. Ultimately, one of the biggest comments that I get from individuals that struggle with HOCD is this. They ask, how do I know I'm not just in denial and that I'm just masking my sexual orientation? As I've said in previous videos, OCD is the doubting disease. It's going to make somebody question and doubt and wonder and all that. Some other common statements that I hear from those who have HOCD are these. Why do I keep getting these thoughts of kissing my friend? Why did I even have this intrusive thought in the first place? Because I did, it must mean something, right? So you want me to do exposure therapy? You want me to be okay with these thoughts that I have about gay people? So that's gonna actually make me gay. I'm gonna have to accept that I am. There's a lot of resistance in this type of treatment because it's scary. And this brings us to the treatment. So the treatment for HOCD is collectively a few different things. Yes, of course, we use exposure and response prevention, but we also use some mindfulness and acceptance and commitment therapy. An individual needs to accept the thoughts, accept the feelings, accept the physical sensations just as they are, without putting value, without putting judgment to them. When using exposure and response prevention, I think a lot of people go to the extreme. They may say, all right, well, they're gonna make me watch some gay porn now, great. No, there's no way in the world I ever think this is necessary for anybody doing exposure and response prevention. Instead, we may look at pictures of people in maybe a gay parade. We may look at a picture of two guys kissing, two girls kissing. We may write down the words gay. We may write down the words men kissing, women kissing. Ultimately, every single person is going to be different in what works for them and what doesn't. Essentially, we want to create these exposures that's going to help you move closer to the threat without neutralizing them, without doing the compulsion. So for example, if you're looking at this picture of maybe two guys kissing, you're gonna really practice not doing these mental compulsions without doing these physical compulsions. And we're gonna see what happens. The anxiety may go down, it may not, but either way, you're teaching your brain something brand new. It's sending all these signals your way saying that you are in danger and you need to neutralize these as fast as you can, and you didn't, and you end up feeling a little bit better at the end. Your brain learned something new. It said, hey, man, you're still okay and you didn't fix this. Why are you still okay? We may write stories or scripts. We may write out the thoughts that you have in your head. You may hang a gay flag outside your house. You may wear a pin. However you perceive individuals being gay, you may actually act that way. And it's not to make fun or mock. It's to say, this is what my brain is scared of doing and thinking and feeling, so I'm gonna step closer to it and do it. So ultimately, I know this is scary. I'm gonna create a whole separate video on this type of treatment. So if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do so you do not miss this treatment. So tell me, have you struggled with HOCD in the past? If you have, let me know in the comments. I know it's sometimes hard to talk about, but the more we talk about it, it brings darkness to light. Have you tried this treatment? If you have, also let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. Due to possibly feeling gay. Oh, that didn't work. The person's growing. For instance, if I'm walking out of a gym, what is going on? Sometimes, my voice just cracked. Sometimes hundreds of times. Ultimately, one of the bigger comments that I get from most individuals, yeah.